Today, I want to solo camp at the base of a mountain, but there are several challenges I must overcome. 1. Get my gear packed. 2. Get all my work done. 3. Relocate to the mountains. I know where I'm going. I know how long it will take. And that's it. I'm now being met by physical objections from the body. There's the crows. Why can't you do something easier? What's all the effort for? Look at YouTube telling you this morning it's not worth it. It's not worth all the effort. They want to knock them out. Right, so we are above the hard bit. We've overcome the worst of it, the hardest bit, and now we are about halfway to the destination. It's tough though, really tough. That was a good bit of cardio. We're about 10 minutes from the campsite now. Really nice cardio. I can feel the bag, but it's okay. I mean, I could stop if I wanted to. It's just that silly determination that makes you not take a break. I could stop now, take a break for a minute. And maybe I should. Maybe I should take a break. Just for a minute. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh, that is so tough. Oh, God. I wanted to make this video about strategy. When your plans go to shit, you get pissed off. But when you have strategy, you're not so pissed off. You're kind of like, I knew this was going to happen. Okay, and you're ticking off the list of things that you knew were going to happen. Yeah, you were saying that. Right, that's part one done. Let's get back and get to the next. Why would you do 2 carries? That's the question. What would be the point of doing 2? Hey? Well, it's feeling a bit more like a house and home. I think I have to recover a little bit before I can do anything. And I'm waiting on that wind or rain to stop. I mean, it's not really raining so much in here. Feels like time to relax or something like that. I feel like getting changed into something a little bit warmer, more infrared reflective. And I think I'm gonna do that. It is chilly. Just feels, I feel damp, and I think that's what it is. It's from carrying all the stuff up here. I am damp. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get changed. Warmer trousers on. So socks, pants, trousers. As soon as I go to get changed, it starts pissing raining. Like, my body's warm, but my ass feels cold. Yeah, this was a good plan. Oh, that feels better already. So much for clearing up. Oh well. Now, let's take one layer on the inside. You shouldn't always close off between your waist and your upper body. There should be some free flow of air to some degree. I'm feeling that now. Good. Yeah, these feel wet. And that is from just sweating. Pure effort. Getting up here. I was even sweating out my asshole. Alright, we'll get them inside. Yeah. Got another one of these bad boys. Yeah. Woo! Now, look at us. We're here. I wanted to do a few shout outs at the start. I don't want to shout out everybody and then have you here in like 40 minutes time still watching my video. Yeah, so this camp is dedicated to Ali Mollys-aviation. You're one of the 17% of returning viewers that come to my channel. Ali was telling me about that he fell ill in 2020 and he can't get to do something like this. And I feel very lucky when I talk to somebody like Ali to realize that I can get here now in my life. Ali, thanks for the inspiration on this. I will be building you a seat at some stage over the next 24 hours that I'm here. Sticks outdoors. Sounds like a deer in distress is my answer, and that was to do with a video about strange sound. But I can't say I've heard that either. There's a question from Ann Mountains and More. What type of drone am I using? And my drone is a DJI Mini 2 that my wife got me, it must be 3-4 years ago, something like that, 2021, so 4 years ago. I haven't crashed it. I nearly killed a seagull once, but I haven't crashed it. I love that little drone on 60 frames a second. I might get to show some of what's here, but I don't bring the drone all the time because I find the drone a bit distracting. Anyway, moving on. Corley Outdoors 2887. Is it true that Ireland has no poisonous snakes? And Corley, that is to do with, there's no snakes at all in Ireland, and that is to do with the Ice Age. At the end of the last Ice Age, the snakes made it across to the UK. They made it across Doggerland. The sea levels, if you can imagine all the ice caught in the North and South Poles, and the ice had grown all the way down to Ireland. The ice giants, the glaciers had grown all the way down to Ireland. And then all of a sudden it started to melt 10,000 years ago into what we're living in right now, which is an interglacial, in between the ice. But as the ice retreated, you could walk between Ireland and England. So the sea levels were really low because all the ice was caught in the North and South Pole. So the sea levels were like 120 meters lower, which means that, you know, the sea between Ireland and England is only 90 meters deep. Same between England and France, I think, is 90 meters deep. There's a few deeper parts around near the Isle of Man and stuff like that. But the snakes were making their way up from, like, France. When the temperature rose, they started to migrate northwesterly towards England. By the time they got across England towards Ireland, the ice had melted so quickly that the water had filled in the gap between Ireland and England. And that's pretty much why we don't have snakes in Ireland. And they attribute that to St. Patrick. So thanks, Corley, for that question. He doesn't like, that's why he likes hammock camping, is because of the snakes. I got a question from at Gone Camping 951. This was an interesting question. He said, do you adjust your exposure live or editing? And I would say live. 100% adjust the exposure all the time. I can even adjust it right now. If it's too bright, I can adjust it. Like that. Same with shutter. So brightness can be controlled by ISO. It can be controlled by so many different factors. And I adjust all of those factors, if that makes sense. Thanks for that question, Gone Camping. Have you decided on a seating solution? And this is from Scoot Lady. It's Scoot Lady is asking about the forestry art thing here, and she's saying, have I decided on some sort of seating arrangement? And I haven't decided. Yeah, I suppose I have decided that I want something that's around the fire and as low as the fire. So something low so that you can come in real close and sit beside the fire. And I'm hoping tomorrow, before I leave here, to be able to do some of that work, to be able to create a little bit of a seat before I get out of here tomorrow. At least one. Anya, what type of camera did you use for this? And she's talking about a city drive that I did in January. I don't know when it was actually. It could have been, it's like 2-3 years ago. It was one of the first videos that really took off for me. It was when an Irish artist from the Pogues died. And she was asking what sort of camera did I use that day. And the camera I used was a Hero 11, and it was on my dashboard. GoPro Hero 11. You have to do everything which leaves little space to be lonely. There is a mental war of preparation. You cannot forget anything. You have to tick every box, and there is nobody to bounce the ideas off. And that's to do with solo camping. Lee SS6UZ from 1 month ago. Hello mate, what type of tape are you using there please? And this was a video about repairing tent poles or prepping tent poles on a tent I was going to bring tonight. I'm really glad I didn't bring it. It's the Highlander 1 XL. And the reason I'm glad I didn't bring it is because I would not have this space. I wouldn't be able to sit up. I wouldn't be able to have my bags inside. It's pretty much a hiking, mountain climbing, pretty much a strong L tent as well. I'll give it that. But I was using their fiberglass poles, and what I was doing was I was wrapping the ends of them with insulating tape, color-coded insulating tape, and I was also using, I think, gaffer tape. And this was just to stop, if you crack a fiberglass tent pole, it will split all the way up along it. So what I was doing was I was prepping for that by taping them first. And then sure, you always have a bit of tape on the poles even after that. So thanks for that, Lee. Oh, this is a question from Ali Mollys-aviation from a month ago. What's your favourite time of year for outdoor walks? Favourite time of year? I think, I don't know, it depends on the gear. Definitely summer. Summer, September, and yeah, sometime like that. I don't know. It depends. I like a nice day though. Thanks for that question. Pembrokeshire Prepper, here's a question. What's your favourite food for camping? Well, you did ask a pretty easy question to answer. I love sausages. Absolutely love sausages. Best food ever for camping. And I have some with me tonight, but I may need to make them on the fire over there. So that's all the questions I have, and I'll be back later on with some more updates from the camp. Stay with me. I've just gotten changed. I feel a lot warmer. I'm gonna I've got an axe to grind tonight at some stage. It's all rusted from being out here, so I'm gonna grind that at some stage. And I think about 8 o'clock the rain is gonna stop. I've enough wood there for a little fire, so we'll see how that gets on. Anyway, catches in a bit. I'm gonna go back to reading and chilling out and enjoying being solo, enjoying my hot water bottle behind my back,
This is just beautiful behind my back. Loving this tonight. So glad I brought that.
Apart from the rain, but maybe the rain's gonna stop and we can saw some wood, get the axe out, sit out for an hour or two. Be nice to be out for an hour or two tonight. I want to say hello to CCJ Music, Ethan Moran, also my friend No Lake. You know, these musicians have been such a really nice resource for me. I've met nice people in the world, and meeting different people like CCJ Music, where you meet somebody who you know just by the tone in their email who they are, what they're like. And I've really enjoyed the last couple of weeks. Being able to do some of the stuff like the one night survival night was really nice with CCJ Collins Music from CCJ Music. And then you find out other things, like I found some other guy from Colin as well. And it's just such a nice thing to be able to meet all these nice people. There's no network coverage here, absolutely zero. I can still see a bit of light up there. I can still see a bit of the mountainside. It's still raining quite heavy, but it's nice and sheltered. There's no wind. It's supposed to be wind in the morning and wind tonight, so that's going to be interesting to wait for. A few 30-mile-an-hour gusts. I think we've got a fly on board now. Anyway, we'll hunt them down later. No midges. I am liking these little lights because there's a nice bit of heat off them. Still got loads of gas left.
10 to 7. Oh, it's chilly enough. It was really chilly. My God, what a day, what a night. Oh, it was a tough night. Oh, it was a tough one. Ooh. gorgeous coffee.
When I woke up this morning at about 5, I was thinking, was this actually worth it today? It was a tough one. This is really tough. I woke up at 4:35 thinking, are you ever gonna do this again? This is getting old. This is what happens when you get old. You can't take it. So difficult. But I took on a huge amount of work yesterday to get up here. And it's not just the physical work to get up here. There's a bit of strategic planning. I don't like plans. I actually have a motto about plans, about this place. I think they call it a planet, and you can try to plan all you want, but don't plan it. You need strategy. In Bushido, they say a person who knows Bushido will go with the wind. When a big wind comes, you go with the wind. And a person who doesn't know Bushido will grab onto the ground and scream. And Bushido is more to do with strategy. Strategy for me is getting ahead of myself a little bit. So this week I painted the stairs. I got all my clothes washed. I got all my work done. Got all my business work done. To clear the decks. So this is part of my strategy. Rather than planning, the strategy is to be ahead with some of the chores I need to do, so that when it comes to coming back, I don't have a huge list of things to do when I'm tired. There's a choice we make on a campsite. You can choose easy or you can choose hard. Many bits along the way this week, I was contemplating doing the easy. Doing the easy is a way to just get out in nature and have a holiday. Doing it hard builds resilience. This morning I was nearly in tears at 4 o'clock because I was thinking, holy shit, like this was so tough. I didn't want to film last night. It was raining. It just wasn't a nice night. It was just sit in the tent and listen to the rain, and there was supposed to be stars. There's no stars. And it was just like all these, what would you call them? Targets. But part of the strategy was to identify the comfort items, the controllable comfort items. The comfort was right. I had the right tent.
I had the right air mattress to sit in there for the whole night. I had the hot water bottle. I had food, pre-cooked. Everything was ready. And I'd started really early yesterday. So I wasn't in a rush, and I got here. I had the tent set up at 10 o'clock in the morning. I went back home, let the dogs out, came back, was back here for 1:30. It was 2:30. There's so many things in the way yesterday. There was a few items where I was like, this is causing a problem, or this doesn't look good. Little moments where things didn't look good. And so I turned on careful mode as well. Careful mode is where you try not to make any mistakes with your feet. Big heavy bag. Second bag was just so heavy. I'd say I was up at 16 kilos easily. So I spent the night heating my legs and my feet. Eventually got into the sleeping bag. Turned on a few documentaries. One about the SAS, and just listened to that quietly. And I had the candle going. So the comfort items, I got the style of the mountains. Nothing beats a mountain camp. You're so isolated. I barely had internet connection. I had to set my phone to 3G and 2G just to get any connection, which was interesting because 4G and 5G just don't work out here. There's absolutely no connection. And I had to leave the phone in the roof of the tent to get any coverage. Yeah, going back to that point about Bushido, I wanted to make this video about strategy. I didn't want to show how difficult it is, but it is difficult. This was hard. This was a hard one. But when I get back, I knew about an hour ago, I knew that I had topped up my resilience. So I'll be ready to deal with things better. I don't have to climb 15 hills. I can do this and still get a bit of resilience. So when I started to think of ideas for this, I wrote down all the ideas, and I realized that I won't achieve them all. And some people may call that planning, to write down all the ideas. But when your plans go to shit, you get pissed off. But when you have strategy, you're not so pissed off. You're kind of like, I knew this was going to happen. Okay, and you're ticking off the list of things that you knew were going to happen. And I knew this morning that I might get a nice day. I knew that the possibilities were high that I could get a nice morning at least. And I have. So going back to the shout-outs, there's a guy called TY Outdoors, Tyrone Outdoors, and Adriana Codron. Woodsman TY is actually the channel. Jopie Catalan. Hello, Jopie. Jesus Chuza. Jose Ferreira. Hiking Outdoor Family. Y Explorer. Lynn B. Stig Flober Gahan Photography. John, good morning. Island Jason, good morning. National Parks Princess. Sticks Outdoors. Benny Bushcraft. Bosun Dan. Did I say Raven? I may have said all these names yesterday. Good morning to you. And thanks so much for your support. I've noticed that things like likes have dropped off. I don't know if that's because I don't care about them anymore. I realize I have a hater as well. I've got one person who consistently presses the downvote. And they do it quite regularly. Whenever there's a good video, it's like they're straight on it with a minus vote out of nowhere. And I hope that person gets well soon. I really do. I hope they get out, because there must be some frustration with watching this. But don't be frustrated, because this is shit. This is a shit storm from beginning to end yesterday. 24 hours of shit storm. Thomas Schaaf, good morning. Jim Hayes Hiking, thanks very much. Thanks for your support. He's been a member of my channel for, he's one of the longest members and has stayed with me. Something like that, where somebody stays with you as a member. It's a plus in a field of minuses. It's a bigger plus though. Yasmin's hiking mission. Yasmin, your cloud inversion. We talked about that you'd get one. You would get one, and you got one. Pure effort. Striding legs. Irvin's lens. Pembrokeshire prepper. Daydream everything. Born to motion. Garth 257. Good to see you again, Garth. Vel basket case. Vel and his goats. What a man. Hope you're doing well, brother. Bushy Baz Outdoors. DC Outdoors. Cujo Mojo. I think I already talked about Colin. CCJ music. More than likely some part of this film's got a bit of CCJ music in it. It's probably the most dangerous part of this water filtration system is getting the water. We're really lucky to have a thing called a Grail in the world. I've had a bit of a leaky situation with the Grail, and I feel it's from pulling it off in the cold. I feel like I've distorted it from pulling the tube off, because here in Ireland it gets pretty cold, and I've been using it in very cold situations. And I'd say the tolerances, in something that has to be sealed, the tolerances aren't particularly easy to deal with expansion and contraction, because you want to filter water, you don't want it coming up the sides. So what I've had is a situation where if I turn it, this happens. You can see that. And it's coming down the inside of the bottle. It's coming down where the Grail sign is. But you can see that. I can't make it happen every time. Anyway, I was looking at I was trying to see if it was dirty, something like that. It cleaned it. Certainly in certain positions it doesn't happen, and certainly empty it doesn't happen. So I've been having to take it empty. which isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't leak like when it's standing up. It's not leaking straight up. It was only when it was in my bag sideways. But yeah, it was slightly upsetting because I was finding, you know, if I had my camp set up, ow. Yeah, if I had my camp set up or my bag set up, and I put the bag like this in the car, I was getting drips into some of my clothes and stuff like that in the bag. So for the last month, I've been trying to figure out why. It doesn't seem to happen all the time, but it's at the bottom of this, there's a tiny catchment area that has water in it, yeah? And that water is making its way up the side, and then it comes out here. And it'll stop after a while. It's not actually the inside of it leaking, it's this end piece down the bottom that's leaking, or that has water in it, that comes up the inside and then out. So I contacted Grail and they said they're going to send, actually, first thing I did was I got a new filter because I was thinking the O-ring on the filter was broken. So that was the first thing I did. And the filter was 35 euros, and I've had the filter for 2 years. They say to change it every year, but the filter was working fine. I wasn't using dirty water or anything like that. And it happened still. I just thought the O-ring might have been worn out, and it still happened. So at that stage, I was like, oh no, maybe it's the outer tube. And I was like, I'm going to end up buying a whole new Grail by the time I fix this. So I contacted Grail last week, and they're sending me out a new inner part of the of the Grail system. I really think it's the outer because it's distorted, but they said they're going to send me a new outer part or a new inner part, and they must know what they're doing. They've been dealing with this for a while, I'd say. So Nicola in Grail, and there was another guy in Grail. Thank you very much for looking after a customer after 2 years. That's quite an impressive bit of customer services to sort something out after that amount of time. You don't know what that's been through with me, and I haven't done anything crazy with it. I've been quite careful with it, but we'll soon see if the inside piece is the bit that fixes it. And I presume I sent them photographs. I showed them photos of what I could see, and it's in the post from Germany now at the moment. So it'd be great to get it fixed. But hey, what about that for customer service, hey? Well, I hope you enjoy that film. This is the end for now. I'm not going to show you the walk out of here or unpacking this tent. We're just going to go get out of here. And I hope you had a good day. Hope you enjoyed this. What a morning. Blessed with the morning. The morning made up for yesterday. Really did. So, thank God for that.